Okay, let's dive right into this. If you're a 12th standard student and you've been dreaming of getting into an Indian Institute of Management, you probably think you've got to wait until after graduation to grind for the CAT exam, right? Well, good news, you don't. The whole landscape has shifted over the last few years, and early entry is absolutely a reality now.
It sounds almost too good to be true, but this is literally straight out of the official admission guides. You can actually secure admission to the prestigious IIMs directly after completing 12th grade. So think of this explainer as your ultimate tactical playbook. We're going to treat this like a video game strategy guide to help you beat the admission levels and secure your spot.
To demystify this whole fragmented system, we've broken the source material down into 4 highly actionable, manageable steps. 1. Choose your path. 2. Check your eligibility. 3. The entrance exams. And 4. The application timeline masterclass.
All right, kicking things off with step 1, choose your path. Before you begin the quest, you gotta know what degrees you're actually fighting for. And honestly, the sheer variety of degrees available directly out of high school right now is kind of staggering. You've got the classic 5-year integrated program in management, the IPM, offered by institutes like Indore and Rohtak. But we need to look beyond that. It is no longer just standard BBA programs anymore. We're talking specialized Bachelor of Science honors degrees, Bachelor of Management studies, and some truly cutting-edge tech-focused options.
I mean, these programs are evolving so incredibly fast. To put it into perspective, IIM Bangalore is now offering a B.Sc honors in data science and economics, which is specifically designed to blend analytical rigor with applied learning. And then you have IIM Lucknow offering a B.S. in AI and business analytics. These are pioneering, real-world initiatives built to prepare you for a hyper-data-driven world, literally right out of high school.
Moving right along to step 2, check your eligibility. Let's see if your academic profile meets the standards.
Okay, 60%. I want you to wake up and let that number sink in for a second. For the vast majority of these programs, there is a strict minimum aggregate requirement of 60% in both your 10th and 12th grade board exams if you fall under the General, OBC, or EWS categories. Now for SC, ST, and PWD categories, that minimum is usually dropped to 55%. And hey, definitely keep an eye on your age. For most programs, especially the IPMs, there's a strict maximum age limit of 20 years at the time of application or by a very specific cutoff date.
And now we arrive at the elephant in the room. This is definitely the most dreaded question for non-science and non-commerce students planning out their applications. Do you need maths in your 12th standard to get into an IIM?
Exhale. You can officially breathe a sigh of relief. As this brilliantly illustrates, if you completely hate calculus, campuses like Indore, Rohtak, Kozhikode, Ranchi, Shillong, and Udaipur absolutely do not require you to have studied math in your 12th standard. However, if you are targeting those highly specialized tech programs we just talked about, like Bangalore's data science, Lucknow's AI program, or even the IPM at Amritsar, math is an absolute requirement. And actually, in Lucknow's case, it's full physics, chemistry, and math. So, the point is, there's a clear path for you here, regardless of your relationship with numbers.
Which brings us to the boss battle of this playbook. Step 3, the entrance exams.
You might actually want to pause and take a screenshot of this because it perfectly distills a super confusing alphabet soup of exams into one simple map. The days of just one single unified entrance test are over. You need to map your target to the right exam. Want Indore, Ranchi, or Shillong? You gotta conquer IPMAT Indore. Targeting Rohtak or Amritsar? That'll be IPMAT Rohtak. Kozhikode has its own BMS aptitude test, though they also accept JEE Main or SAT scores. Bangalore takes the CUET general test or their own internal exam, and Lucknow strictly requires you to qualify in JEE Advanced. Simply put, know your target, know your test.
So let's break down the most popular one, IPM at Indore. Out of 360 total marks, the absolutely crucial point to take away is that a massive 50% of the weightage relies entirely on verbal ability. Yep, your English skills. The other half is split up between quantitative multiple choice questions and quantitative short answer questions, where, by the way, there is no negative marking. So your English proficiency is arguably your biggest weapon here.
But now, contrast the Indore pattern with IPM at Rohtak. The landscape totally changes. You've got 120 questions split equally 3 ways: quantitative aptitude, verbal ability, and crucially, logical reasoning, which isn't even on the Indore test. But here's the massive strategic relief with Rohtak. There are no sectional timers. You have a full 120 minutes to manage exactly as you see fit.
But hey, here is a crucial reality check.
Just acing that written exam, that isn't the final victory. Almost all these IIMs use what's called a composite score to build their final merit list. This basically means your entrance exam score just gets your foot in the door to get shortlisted. To get the actual offer, you have to clear a mandatory personal interview, and your past 10th and 12th grade marks will heavily factor into the final calculation. It's a completely holistic evaluation.
All right, final stretch. Step 4, our application timeline masterclass.
Let's walk through the physical logistics so you don't miss a critical deadline. Step 1, visit the official portal and register. Step 2, you'll generate a user ID and password sent via email and SMS. Step 3, log back in and upload scanned copies of your 10th and 12th mark sheets, your photo, signature, and ID. And Step 4, pay the fees and select your test center. Now, a massive warning right here. Basic details like your name, date of birth, email, and phone number usually cannot be changed later, like at all. So double-check everything before hitting submit.
Zooming out to look at the chronological journey, here's how it plays out. First, the registration windows open up, kicking off the cycle. A few weeks before the actual exams, the admit cards will drop. Once exam day is finally behind you, the institutes release their shortlists, immediately followed by the personal interview phase. And then, finally, the merit list offers are rolled out. This universal flow applies to almost every single IIM undergraduate program.
Okay, before we wrap up this explainer, we've pulled some rapid-fire pro tips directly from the source material. First, seriously, do not use your phone for this. Use PC browsers like Chrome or Edge for these forms to avoid weird technical glitches. Second, keep your original mark sheets ready because they will definitely ask for them during interviews for verification. Third, and please listen to this one, applying for the entrance exam, like IPMAT, does not automatically apply you to the individual colleges. You literally must fill out the exam form and the specific college forms, like for IIM Ranchi or Amritsar. Lastly, adhere strictly to those age cutoff dates. There's absolutely no flexibility there.
So what does this all mean for you? We've walked through the paths, the eligibility rules, the exams, and the timeline. You literally have the playbook in your hands. The gates to the IIMs are open to you way earlier than ever before. So the only question left for you is, are you going to settle for the traditional, super crowded path, or are you ready to use this step-by-step explainer to hack your way to the top right now?